Welcome back folks, my name is LastKnownMeal and today we're gonna be talking about Dark Passenger, a new game development studio which is actually created by a few ex-CD Projekt Red developers who worked both on The Witcher 3 and Cyberpunk 2077. Now do keep in mind I went out of my way to investigate this studio a little bit and see what I can find, and these are my findings so far. Now without further wasting your time, let's get into the video. So first things first, the studio CEO is Jakub Ben, and Jakub Ben was previously working on both The Witcher 3 as well as Cyberpunk 2077 as a cinematic artist and assistant director. So he was in charge of those cinematics you were actually seeing from the Witcher 3 days and onto Cyberpunk 2077. Keep in mind, not all of them, but a quite few of them throughout the development of both games. So basically after he left CD Projekt Red, he started his own company, Dark Passenger, and there he's going to be a CEO and kind of the main guy when it comes to ideas and when it comes to the games they're gonna be making. Now when it comes to their first game, so far we do not have a title, but we do know that the game is going to be online, co-op, PvP, PvE game set in feudal Japan, where an invader overthrows the shogun and establishes a new throne. So that's where that story segment is going to come from. Of course, whenever people hear online, co-op, PvE/PvP, you get worried a little bit. Now of course I share your same worries and excitement when it comes to this, because whenever you have an online game like this, it can either be something really good or something which is not going to be interesting at all, and it's not going to pick up any traction, especially now where people are kind of fed up when it comes to online titles or any sort of multiplayer whatsoever, because people just want single player games today. We'll see how is that going to look like in the end, but hopefully it's gonna be good. And they also share this about the game. Our goal is to create highly exciting online experiences that are focused both on cooperation and rivalry. We're fascinated by interpersonal interactions, alliances, daring confrontations, and unexpected twists of events. In order to make every game unique and surprising, we're using advanced procedural solutions. While the goal will be the same for all players, every time achieving it will require a different approach, tactics, and taken routes. Our locomotion system will allow players to perform incredible evolutions such as running on arrows that were fired by other players, cool, fast climbing on vertical surfaces with the use of shuko claws, or using yari spear like a pole to jump over obstacles. Among many weapons in the player's arsenal, there will be katanas, short tanto, and wakizashi blades, kusarigama chains, shurikens, kunai throwing knives, and many more. Engaging close-range combat will demand as much dexterity as tactics as close cooperation with teammates. Advanced system of customization will allow players to create unique characters and modify their weapons and equipment to their liking. They're also gonna be able to create their own dojo, a personal space where they can invite friends for training combat and movement. And they also said this: taking the role of the shinobi and kunoichi warriors, players will face acolytes of the usurper, but also other assassins that are hunting for the same finds. While traversing these dark lands, player characters will jump over city rooftops, hide underneath the floors of wooden huts, climb on the pagodas, or sneak to the shrines and temples. Vertical design of the terrain will open unlimited possibilities of movement, and dynamic weather will surprise them with a sudden rain, strong dusty wind, or dense mists. Players will encounter many social classes, ranging from simple villagers and beggars to highborn townspeople and samurai. However, their goal is to remain unseen and be always vigilant in the face of threats that may be lurking on them from all sides. Now also it is going to be done in Unreal Engine 5, so at least when it comes to graphics and when it comes to those level of details, I think it's going to be fine. Now when it comes to the title itself, it was in pre-production for 2 years, and according to Jakub Ben on his official LinkedIn profile, he shared that it was instantly funded. So whenever you have something which is funded just like that, it seems that there is some potential over there. Now of course, one good thing about this is that whenever you're working at a big company like for example CD Projekt Red, because in the circles of game development CD Projekt Red is big, especially if you're gonna be working there. So now when you leave that and when you start your own company, those credentials can pretty much land you better deals. It does not guarantee it, but at the same time, at least when it comes to funding and pre-production, that part is pretty much done. So right now they're in full development. And also according to Jakub Ben, again on his LinkedIn profile, he says that there is going to be a reveal very soon. So I guess, I don't know, in maybe a month or something, we might actually learn what the game is going to be about. And currently they're hiring heavily for gameplay programmers, tech artists, lead animators, character artists, and so on. Now there's a few things here which I find very interesting, and that's, for example, that a few positions, like for example the gameplay programmer, ask that you have experience in first-person perspective. Again, this might signal, because it's all over their hiring page, that the game is going to be some sort of an online melee first-person title. But again, it does not really guarantee it. But at the same time, whenever you write a lot of times that that someone should have proper experience in FPP perspective or in FPPs in general, that kind of can signal that we might be getting into this territory where the game is going to be first person. Now again, is this going to be interesting or not? It is, you know, yet to be seen. Hopefully it is, because whenever you have let's say a big company get out like a big game, you're gonna have a lot of that talent after a few years leave, and they're gonna be starting on working on their own games. Like for example, there is the God game, which is also made by ex-CD Projekt Red developers. There is also one with Rebel Wolves. Yeah, that's also a new studio, which is actually head by Konrad Tomaskiewicz, who was actively developing The Witcher 3 and working on The Witcher 3, so he's gonna be making a new story-driven RPG, and it seems that this is a studio with him that people really need to follow, because he was one of the main people who made The Witcher into what it is. Whenever he says a story-driven RPG is being made by him, that's gotta be interesting, because, you know, his knowledge and what he was doing prior to that in CD Projekt Red, if this comes to fruition in his own company with his own rules, this should be extremely interesting to actually follow. And also, even that title is going to be done in Unreal Engine 5, so I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how it looks like in the end, especially because it's also going to be a dark fantasy game, so it might be even similar to The Witcher, who knows. But yeah, slowly and surely we're getting more and more studios from ex-CD Projekt Red developers, and that's basically normal when it comes to most companies today. Like for example, going from EA and all of that, whenever EA closes a studio and lets people go, these people have to continue making games because they love making games. So either they're gonna be working at obviously different companies, or they're gonna be starting their own. And there has been a few very good positive stories where those developers band together and they create something which is going to be absolutely great to follow and to play in the end. But of course, when it comes to Dark Passenger and this online title, I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see how it pans out. Hopefully it's good, especially because it's online, and that's always tricky to release, especially as your first title. So if they nail it, it's gonna be fun. But of course, I will let you know whenever we learn something new about any one of these studios, because of course I follow these sort of things in general. So subscribe if you want to stay updated with the latest news according to whatever is going on in this part of the industry. And also, generally, if you enjoyed this video, subscribe for more, and also check us out on Twitter and Discord. And huge thanks to my current Patreon supporters. This is LKM signing out, and stay classy everyone. Bye bye.